Hi, I'm Dave Sweeney, and this is Grant Ford. We're both NSSPI graduates, and we actually both started at Texas A&M at the same time, and before NSSPI started, and so we were there through the beginning and evolution of NSSPI before we left. Now we're both at the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, and I'll let Grant go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So both Dave and I work for the Department of Defense doing nuclear security work. I'm currently a branch chief in the nuclear detections technology portion. What was so special about NSSPI and how it helped prepare me for my career has been the interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary work that it exposed me to. Every team that I worked on as a student, and then I was privileged enough to come back as a research engineer to begin my career, every team consisted of at least nuclear engineers and international policy and public policy folks from the Bush School of Government and Public Service, the Political Science Department, in addition to other technical folks from math, chemistry, physics, you name it.
And that played itself out through some of the coursework that was developed at Texas A&M through NSSPI, in that it brought both the engineers and policy folks together. And during the classes, there were the assignments and the coursework had engineering components that the engineers were responsible for, and then policy components that the policy students were responsible for. But the thing was, it wasn't mutually exclusive. The two worlds had to interact to complete the assignment. So while the engineers were more responsible for the math and science, the policy students had to understand what the engineers were going, and the engineers had to understand what the policy objectives for each assignment were. And those courses were really useful, and actually as a result of kind of this exposure to the policy world in the Bush School at Texas A&M, I was able to pursue my policy interests a little further and go ahead and get a certificate in advanced international affairs. And I think, Grant, you did the...
Yeah, I was able to pursue the certificate in Homeland Security as well. But in addition to the classroom opportunities that NSSPI provided, there were lots of international travel opportunities as well. I know David was able to take advantage.
Yeah. While we were there, Grant and I both went on a trip to Switzerland, and we toured Swiss nuclear facilities, including their national laboratory over there. Later, I was able to go to Oslo, Norway, and participate in a disarmament simulation. So there was a ton of international exposure. We also, on both those trips, we had Russian students that were involved, so there was further exposure and learning about what those students were doing in Russia, and coming together and developing some ties, I think, not all of them, but some of the students did keep in touch for quite some time after that, and it was really nice. The other opportunities that were provided included national laboratories and internships there domestically at DOE National Labs, including Los Alamos. Grant and I were both there for one summer. Grant, you did several more internships at Los Alamos.
My research was funded through Los Alamos. I spent quite a bit of time there and began there as a staff member.
Yeah, and I also did a few internships at Livermore National Laboratory while I was there. Another opportunity that came about for me largely through NSSPI was an internship at the National Academy of Science, which is just over the river over there a little bit.
And all these experiences that NSSPI was able to provide, not just us, but all of our colleagues and former students, really is critical, because it's what sets NSSPI apart. It's what provides NSSPI graduates with the skills, the abilities, the experiences they need to pursue careers in the field of nuclear security, non-proliferation, safeguards, and really hit the ground running and be effective very early in their careers.
And we continue to interact with our former colleagues at NSSPI, and they continue to do great research, and we're looking forward to 10 more years of continued excellence and world-leading research at NSSPI, and producing the next generation of nuclear security policy leaders.
Congratulations on 10 years, NSSPI. Here's to another 10.
Thanks.